Well, welcome to a new Harry's Garage video, and today's car is the Range Rover L322. I have owned this car since 2016 and I did an update on it on this channel in November 2017, and I was amazed how popular it proved to be, that video. I'll put a link up there to it. It did over 1 million views. And it's constantly looked at, it seems, this video on this car. It's a sort of iconic Range Rover. For background, I got my first Range Rover in 1990. I had a little count up. I think I've owned 9 of them over the years, and I've had the newer versions of this, but somehow I've still got this version of Range Rover, and you'll see it on Harry's farm as well, and I use it for general duties. I'm amazed how much we use this car. Now, when I did that previous review 5 years ago, it had clocked up 100,000 miles. It is now done 125,000 miles, and that included taking it off the road during lockdown because I wasn't driving it on the road. So this is going to be an update on this car, but a farmer friend up the road got in touch and he said, why don't you come up to my place? Because he also owns one of these and has had a new Range Rover as well. And he finds he's using this more and more as well. So what I'm going to do now, jump in, travel up to his farm, and I'll just explain a bit more on the way there. I rewatched that video I did on this car 5 years ago this morning. And yeah, there's not a lot I would actually change in it, what I actually said in there. And there was a couple of things I said to look out for, and one of them was a sort of split hose on the turbo side. It's something they do, and yes, it happened to me about a year ago, and I just noticed a slight loss of performance, and rather more embarrassingly, a bit of black smoke out the back, and I thought, oh god, turbos are on the way out, or something was wrong. Took it in, and they said, oh no, the hose is split on the intercooler. It was a £200 fix or something like that, dead easy to do, and suddenly I noticed a much sort of more sprightly performance once it had come back. I think the other thing I've done, I've had a new alternator on it, and there was I started using a little bit of coolant, and I thought, oh no, this is going to be the big one. No, it was a tiny little pipe in the V of the engine that went, and that got replaced. It was more labour to strip and get to this sort of £1 part than the actual cost of the repair. I continued the warranty for 4 years, and it was a 2-year warranty each time. It cost around £1,000, and I barely used it. I am now out of warranty, but I just using this car much more. I had that Defender in for a year, long term from Land Rover, and I was fairly convinced that was the car I was going to get. But it wasn't. It was a short wheelbase one, and it wasn't so good towing. The engine was terrific, but there was a bit of chop from the big car trailer I used. And I just put it behind this just to see what it was like. And I was gobsmacked how good a tow vehicle this generation of Range Rover was. The TDV8 is plenty of grunt. It handled 3 tons behind, no issues at all. And so, yeah, I've started using it for towing. I thought, oh my lord, am I overloading this car? So, yeah, there's some of the reasons why it's still sticking around. But I want to go into a bit more detail when I reach my friend's farm in a couple of months' time. Right, we're here. There it is. Oh, he's got his off-road tyres on. Didn't realise that. Good. Go find it. You've got goats.
Oh, Harry?
Yeah. I haven't seen your goats.
No, they're relatively new. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
No, they're about to go out.
How are they?
Going to do their lawn mowing.
Oh, they're going to do a bit of lawn mowing. That's something they do quite well.
Yeah, that's the plan.
And escaping. So whether you'll see them again, I'm not sure.
No, more worryingly is they're eating, look.
What?
They're eating the fur packs.
Ah.
World's most expensive thing, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, there's bags of fertiliser still going on. You've still got nitrogen. This is the most expensive commodity. This is how farmers show off their wealth, is by having
We used to have it
nitrogen
stacked up to the ceiling.
Those are the days.
All the way along.
Yeah.
And then it is, honestly, this is like Fort Knox now, or the value of this barn,
Yeah.
is the same as Fort Knox's value with these. They're just ludicrous.
We should be talking about Range Rover.
We should, rather than
Yeah.
the more expensive things which comes
Yeah,
in
these
blue
are much
bags.
cheaper than fertiliser. You buy these for nothing.
I
So
know,
there we
you've got
are.
the right colour green. I
Yeah.
always thought you had the Queen's green.
The Queen's. I have.
They
that
had the
green.
two greens.
Yes.
And the Queen had the wrong green.
I want to say it's Tonga green. There is a lighter green. Is that
There's
the one you
darker
think?
than this, I
Oh,
think.
there's an Aintree green.
And I think she had that, and everyone said, oh, you got the same colour as the Queen. No, I
Yeah.
haven't. I've got the correct colour.
You-
And yours is the first.
That's not something you can say very often, that the Queen has got it wrong.
Well, bless her.
Yeah.
I'm sure she didn't know.
I'm sure it was a good reason.
Yeah, no, but
Yeah.
this was the best colour,
Yeah.
almost of any car, I think.
And the amazing thing was, when they replaced this L322 with the then new Range Rover, they deleted green.
They deleted this colour.
Yeah.
And genuinely, well, two reasons. I haven't bought a Range Rover since.
Yeah.
One, you can't get this colour.
No.
And two, they bong if you don't put your seatbelt on.
Yes, they do.
Whereas this one,
Yes.
as we all know, famously, with a bit of a trick, doesn't bong.
Should we give it away? I mean, most people know. Everybody knows now, don't they?
In and out 10 times really quickly.
Yeah, in and out.
In
On
and
the
out,
seatbelt,
really,
that's
do
it.
it 10
And
times.
And then a ping, and that's it.
Disabled forever.
Yes. And
Because if you're working on the farm, which
Yeah.
and this is the farm car, you're in and out just, I don't know, 50 times a day.
yeah. Yeah.
So the last thing you need is to be told, and then you're driving from one side of a field to the other, you don't need to wear a seatbelt.
no. I'm
So,
completely with you on that one.
So yes,
Yeah.
that's why it was the best Range Rover ever.
Yes.
Was the best Range Rover ever.
It still is, really, isn't it? Why we test cars for a living, and we know all the new ones, and here we are running around in 16-year-old Range Rovers.
Because it was the best they ever made.
Yeah.
I actually genuinely, if you were to say, people say to me, what's the best car ever made? And I would say something like a Lexus LFA or something of that nature.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, this is probably the best car ever made.
Yes.
Because you once famously said it has the DNA of, working farmyard.
Yeah, I know. I'm impressed.
It has the DNA of a transit van,
yes.
which it does.
Yeah.
It wants to be a transit van.
It does. It doesn't know it's a very posh vehicle.
No.
It actually just wants to go to work every day. That's fine. If you want to go up to Scotland or you want to go into London, that's fine.
That's
too.
also fine.
Yeah.
But mostly, can I have some cement in the back? And or some sheep, or some goats, or a pig that's died for no obvious reason. Be careful with my fertiliser.
You know him, don't you? That's fine. He's not nicking it, is it?
It's one of Caleb's boys.
Oh, right, it's okay then.
Because you'll notice my Lamborghini tractor's not here today, which
Yeah.
means Caleb has nicked it, which means he's having to do a job that requires more horsepower than any of his tractors have got.
He must hate that.
Oh, he absolutely hates it. And he has to come round and go, can I borrow your tractor? Oh, doing some mole ploughing, are you?
Doing something that needs a proper bit of grunts. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I was quite rude about your Lamborghini tractor as well, but yeah.
Everybody said it was very expensive because it was 40,000.
No.
It's the cheapest tractor
Yeah.
in the world.
No, indeed. I want to have a look at your Range Rover.
No, do.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm still on my winter.
I've just noticed some screws hanging a bit of trim on.
That's because there's a chap who works here who, constantly washes it. And even
Right.
though I can't stand clean cars, because I was thinking clean car is a sign of a tiny mind.
Right.
Because you got time in the day to wash your car.
Yeah.
And then he decided it needed mud flaps. And
Yes.
that's it. No, I can't stand mud flaps.
Can't you? I
no,
like
I can't
mud
bear
flaps.
them.
Oh, right. So they came off.
So I said, no, you can take those off.
Right. And you've got quite chunky tyres.
Yeah, that's bone idleness. It's May now,
Yeah.
late May,
Yeah.
and I haven't got around to putting summer tyres on yet, but I just
Right.
have those for the shooting
Right.
season.
Well, they go anywhere anyway, really. But yeah. Oh, dear me.
No, I tell you, it's a busy old day.
It is, isn't it?
And that's Caleb's brother.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Is he going to feature in?
He does a
That's
bit
fun.
in the back of shop.
Right,
Mm.
right. Well,
So yes, apologies
Yeah.
to everyone for the constant farming activity.
it's very
but just-
impressive.
yes.
Very, very impressive. How many miles is on yours then?
Do you know? I've no idea.
Well, I'll
70
tell
something,
you.
80.
No, it's not going to light up, is it? Oh, yours is quite modern. Oh, it's a youngster. It's 86,000.
Yeah. What's yours done?
125.
Oh, has it?
Yeah.
But this, rarely leaves the farm these days. It has
Right.
it has a very little life, narrow life.
I think it's the posh one, you know. I think it's.
Jesse, what's yours?
No, I'm just a straight Vogue. But
No, this was. I think this was. It wasn't an autobiography.
No.
But I bought it. When was it? It was new, so yeah, 17 years ago.
yeah.
And I haven't yet driven a car that I've thought I'd rather have that. And everybody thinks my daily driver must be, I don't know.
Yeah.
And it isn't. It's this. I've got this flying spur, but I don't drive it.
No. Well, I've stopped saying, what's the best car in the world, Range Rover, because people's faces drop.
Yeah, they do.
They just
They're
think,
upset.
Yeah, they don't not know. I don't want you to say that.
Well, they get quite cross when I say it's a Lexus.
Yeah.
What do you mean it's not a Lexus like you're thinking of a Lexus, but
Yeah.
that's still probably, if you know, blasting around a track car.
Yeah.
But for living with, no, you can't beat
you
this.
can't
You
beat
just cannot beat it. And it's particularly this one. You've got, very important to have the
Yes.
grey grille.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because when they put the chintzy grille on it, Cheshireized it,
Yeah.
they changed the dashboard so it had those cloud, an electronic dashboard.
No.
And we used to use them making the Grand Tour. And if a cameraman would go and get something out of the car, close the door, every time you opened the door, the car thought, oh, we're going somewhere, fired up the ECU, closed the door, oh, we're not, shut it down. Then opened it again to get something else. 10 or 15 times of opening the door, battery would go flat.
Yeah. It's infuriated. No, I've kept with this early one.
Yeah, no,
but
it's the one to have.
I never expected to keep it this long.
No.
And it's the weirdness now is we've seen one generation of Range Rover, and now we've seen another generation of Range Rover.
Because I've got Lisa, my other half, she has the in-between one.
Yes.
It'll have a model number, which I'm sure
it's 405.
There you go.
Yeah.
I've never paid attention. And people say, have you got an E36?
And I thought
literally don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But that, so I didn't, but yeah, Lisa's
bought a
got one of those.
405, yes.
Yeah, which she thinks is great, but it's going to
Yeah.
start going wrong and I have no great affection for it. So I've been thinking, we need a new car.
Yes.
And Lisa's current list of choices are Ford Wildtrak pickup truck, Ford Mustang, Lamborghini Urus,
Right.
or what was the other one the other day that was nothing? Oh, no, she's really fallen in love with a Vauxhall Astra 1.2.
There's quite a variation.
I know.
They do
So it's
slightly
quite-
different jobs, yeah.
Quite them goes, what sort of car would you like? Because one's a massive, great pickup
Yeah.
truck, one's a
Well,
small
yeah.
little hatchback.
I've
And
got
then
a
she
way-
said, what's wrong with the Vauxhall Astra? Well, you tell me what's wrong with this car. And of course she's right, there is nothing wrong with
No.
it. It's a bloody good little car. But
Well, we ended up, my dear wife is holding the camera for us.
She is.
Thank you very much. With a Panda 4x4.
Well.
Because this arrived and she said it's too big to park.
It is.
So we bought a Tender, which was the Panda 4x4. And now I can't get Patricia out of that. And that's 2006.
Well, on the farm we have a Suzuki Jimny,
That's the same sort of thing.
which is
isn't
a very good little car,
Yeah.
and all that does is it takes stuff from the farm up to the
Yeah.
farm shop. Just constantly, all day and every day, it's going from between the farm shop and the
Yeah.
farm. So that's a good little
Yeah, it's
car.
good.
I can't fit in it because it's the van one.
Right. And it's got the bulkhead.
So it's got the
Yeah.
bulkhead, so the seats had to be moved forward, so I can't fit in it. But all the kids in the shop love it.
People want to know about Range Rovers.
Yeah.
What you've had it 86,000 miles and quite a long time.
Two turbochargers.
What's gone wrong? Yes,
Two
you're going to
turbos.
know what's going. Just the two. So you've had open heart surgery on the engine.
Proper
really.
open up. Yeah, both. I couldn't work it out actually, but both turbos let go simultaneously.
How did you know they'd let go?
I wasn't actually driving it at the time.
yeah.
The guy who works here was driving it.
Yeah.
So anyway, they both went.
Right. And that's
I
not
think there was
5
oil
minute
and
job.
smoke and fire and
Yes.
brimstone.
Yes.
And that was right in the middle of COVID.
Oh right.
And Land Rover were the usual helpful selves. Oh no, we can't. Are you in the factory? Yes. Can you just go in the storeroom? Oh no, we can't do that. Just go in the storeroom and I'll send someone to pick them up. And some local, they put them on.
You put them. So and that's it's
Well, that's
major.
been it.
That's your big bang.
That
That's
was the
your-
big bang.
Yeah.
And you obviously consider, well, that's a hell of a...
Yeah,
Mending
why am I
it will
doing
cost
this?
a lot more than
Yeah.
the car's worth. But nobody realises just how... Cars are emotional. You have an emotional attachment. And I'm very emotionally attached to this. It's one of the reasons I don't take it to London, because all the Range Rovers are stolen in London.
But they wouldn't steal this.
They might steal it. It's too much of a risk. So I'm emotionally attached to it, so I thought I'll bite the bullet and put the turbos on it.
They're worth nothing. I use this, I confess now, if I do valet parking at the airport, just take this. No one's going to nick this. can't curb the wheels, it's impossible. So that's, I use it for that sort of job, as well as the farm. And
No, this one lives on. We'd use the grey one if we go.
Yeah.
Else. I don't really care about the grey one. It's weird, isn't it? How I have no emotional attachment to that car at all.
It's just a tool.
And that one is so expensive.
Yes, well, that was what got me. I thought, hang on a minute, my price to change to this, what am I actually gaining? And I couldn't, and I just got a guilt complex. I said, it's ridiculous, I'm out. I just can't do this.
No, we genuinely have been thinking we've got to sell the grey Range Rover, the whatever you call it.
405.
405.
You'll get it in a house.
Which I thought was a Peugeot, but there we are. We've got to sell that, and I do like to buy Land Rovers if I can.
Yeah.
Because
it's weird. It's like British Airways. We know they're a bit rubbish, but we still go on British Airways, isn't it? It's
true. Just come back from Johannesburg on British Airways. And so I do like to buy, but you just think, well, what? I don't want to discover it. That's just too much. And you can't really put dogs in it and go around the farm and pigs.
No.
So I've been looking at Defender, even though I was quite rude about the Defender when it first came out, because I hate those little catches in the boot.
Yeah.
I think you hang your shopping bags on them.
Yeah, curry hooks.
And you just look and go, they are so flimsy.
Yeah.
And I thought, this is just awful. And all that fake, underbody protection, which is just plastic.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate it. But then I sort of spec'd one up on the configurator. And last night, weirdly, I thought, actually, that looks rather good. Green with a white roof, a 19. Lisa doesn't want it, but she'll like it when it comes.
Bit of a quandary. Well, I think
Really
you're wrong over the Defender. I actually was very surprised how well it drove, and I hate Defenders generally.
Oh, I hate the early Defenders. All that Richard Hammond nonsense. Oh, it's the best car.
No, that's right.
Nowhere for, you can't put your shoulder in it. How can you drive a car?
We're the wrong size for it. Maybe Richard had a slight advantage there.
So I never was a Defender fan, and I wasn't a fan of, because I just thought it was a pastiche of a Defender.
Yeah.
A car I didn't like anyway.
Yeah.
But then when you start to think about it, you don't want a Discovery, you don't want one of those because it's just too much.
Yeah.
You can't hang on to that 405 forever because
that's the one
just
that
go wrong.
Full of electrics, isn't it? Yeah.
So it has to be a Defender.
Yeah.
And I'll probably grow to love it.
Yeah, it probably would.
But
I
this
think
isn't going.
I think we ought to just move around the back, because I just wanted to point out the tailgate.
Yeah. So you want to look at tailgates? Not my rust. Nothing to see here. No rust. Nothing to see.
Well, it's not for sale anyway, so don't worry.
It's not.
No.
It's not, and it still works, as you say.
But this is the bit that I didn't like about the Defender. Is I didn't realise how much I like this.
Oh, this is critical.
Yeah. And look at the strength of it. And if you look at your grey one, 405, that's a little pingy cord.
Oh, it has got
like
a cord.
A bit of piano wire or something.
You jump up. Even I can jump up and down on this.
I bet you can both sit on it. Yeah,
easily.
And that is the gene of the Ford Transit is there.
Is that strut?
And that was the bit when I had that long-term Defender, and you have that great tailgate. Oh, it drove me around the twist because
sideways opening doors are annoying.
Doing grain test when you're doing the moisture test, it's just a table there.
I sit on it a lot.
Yeah.
I'm going to go and look at the cows. I don't know what I'm doing with the cows, so I just sit on. And you just think, well, if I didn't have this, where would I sit?
And that's where.
But I mean, would it be possible, do you think, to change the tailgate on the Defender to have a split?
No, they don't do it.
No.
And then they came out with the blessed Discovery, that stupid tailgate, and you can't even sit on it. It's just useless.
But somebody, it's not beyond the wit of man, a metal worker, to make a split folding tailgate for it.
Well, they just buy a Range Rover.
Yeah.
Or we just keep these forever. Mine, I have to say, I've just put new struts on mine. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. I've got strut envy. Because you can get underneath yours.
Yeah, but I've got this cover in mine, and that was the best 15 quid I ever spent, was that thing. I could just sweep it out. My dear wife went to collect a bale of hay the other day, which is my worst thing in carpet. But they're good.
No,
so I like that.
No, but you probably. I mean, I'm not going to sell that. It's just what we have as, the Lisa's car basically. That's the problem. And but this is this colour green.
Yeah.
Seatbelts don't bong.
Yeah.
It's really comfortable and quiet. I don't hit my head when I get in it.
Yeah.
which I do in almost every other car these days. I'm just trying to get my head down. Honestly, they're, I don't know, they're just perfect. They are absolutely perfect.
Well, the other thing I always say about them, they're like, remember those trains that used to go across sort of Canada and America, and they're viewing sort of...
Oh yeah, well, exactly.
This is what this feels like when you're, because it's
I
just
think
the
it did,
glass
but
is
now
down.
everybody, the glass being
Yeah,
low,
being
I know what you
low.
mean,
Yeah.
Because now everybody's as high as, everybody
Yes.
in a Ford, whatever those MPVs are called that people buy these days, and I have literally no interest in them.
Right.
But they're all just as high up as...
Yeah, but they haven't got the glass area.
No, they haven't
And they
down
haven't
here.
got that height of the glass and the rear glass, so you know the size of the vehicle. It's a breeze block in effect. You know the corners, and it just relaxes you, I find, as you drive
Yeah,
about.
well, that's very true.
Viewing.
It is
as
very
you're-
true.
Yeah.
Because windows are getting... Look how tiny the back window is in that new one.
Well, I can remember at a talk with Dr. Durheimer, who was developing the Bentley Bentayga behind the scenes before anybody'd seen it. And the main thing he wanted to do is have the highest top speed. And he was going to reduce the height and reduce the glass. I said, you haven't got it. And it was to take on the Range Rover. I said, no, it's not about top speed. Who knows what the top speed? I don't know what the top
I've
speed
no idea.
No.
0 to 60. In fact, I was terrified you were going to say, what's the engine in it? Because, I mean, I know it's a diesel.
Yeah, it's a V8. So,
It's definitely a V8. And
yeah.
well, I know it's got 2 turbochargers because I've put them on.
I bought 2 turbos.
Definitely got 2.
Yeah.
So it's the BMW engine, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Is
It's
it
a
not? Is it the
Ford
Ford
engine
one?
built at Bridgend, it was.
I knew that.
Yeah, 3.6.
See, I'm not paying any attention to it.
The other thing I was amazed at, having the new Defender, this is very, very good, and much better than I expected, and it towed all right, but it's a bit choppy. And I thought, I'm not sure if I can live with that. And I thought, I wonder what it's like towing with one of these. And I've never towed with this. Have you towed with yours?
Yeah, you take the pigs to...
On
so
Clarkson Farm, see
Yeah,
them?
much,
you
no,
do.
no, I mean,
They're
that
amazing.
tow bar, I used to take it off all the time because it's unsightly and you
Yes.
reverse into things.
And you haven't put WD-40 on it, have you?
Exactly.
So it's
But no,
stuck.
because I would say that tows twice a week.
Does it?
Yeah, it'll be tows this twice a week.
I suppose you haven't towed with anything else though, have you? But it just towed. It's just the stability in the view
On
out
this?
on
Oh,
these
yeah.
Range Rovers, just no problem.
No,
Yeah.
no, but I know I towed quite. You put 2 of those short
Yeah.
ones in there.
Yeah,
That's quite a bit of weight it's pulling down.
Yeah.
And then take it down to Whitney.
yeah,
See Mr. Much.
yeah,
So I do tow. I do tow with us a lot.
yeah.
We've got pigs, so they're permanent. And they have to go off to somewhere in Wales to be slaughtered. I was like, well, bloody miles away. Where's the
you
other
take
side of the
those?
M5?
Right. Well, that's passport.
It's
territory,
Wales. It
isn't
is
Yeah.
Wales,
Yeah,
definitely.
long way.
So yeah, keep thinking there's Richard Hammond. All the Welsh will be here.
So are you? So you're sticking with yours?
Definitely,
For some time.
100%. I'm never. That will be my daily driver.
Yeah.
Sort of. It doesn't really go very far, but then neither do I anymore. London's a big treat. We got dressed up, but we don't really go more than 10 miles away from here ever.
Yes. You're turning into a Caleb.
I am, but I've seen everything, so I know it's very. So I've been everywhere, done
Right.
everything.
Right.
When you've dropped a laser-guided bomb from an F-15, yeah, it's okay. I've done it all. I've definitely done it all. I can go
Caleb, yeah, it's got quite a lot of catching up to do.
Yeah,
actually,
well,
isn't
he
it?
saw a revolving door the other day for the first time. He absolutely staggered. How does this work? He just pushed it. So he just pushed and then went all the way around. He goes, that's amazing! And they're just going round. And Fortnam and Masons, they just thought, who is this simpleton who's trying to come into our
He did a
shop?
Bernie Eccleston when he went out.
Round and round, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's. But no, because I don't really travel anywhere anymore.
Yeah.
I'm never really worried about breaking down either, because you're never very far away. It's easy to get home. It's not like if you broke down in Scotland or somewhere. That would be a pain.
You go everywhere shooting and stuff, would it? Don't you go quite a long way? You
No,
go,
because I only accept shooting invitations now that are close
were-
somewhere I can see. But no, so
you're retired. What's going on?
I'm not retired.
Well, you sound like it.
No, I
not
don't really. No, I mean, no, I went shooting in Scotland last year, but you fly there, so.
Oh, I see.
So I've got no desire to sell it, and I don't see the need to sell it because it works.
Well, you wouldn't notice
It's
in the
like
bank
I have-
account if you sold it.
No.
It would just be a little ripple.
And I've got one pair of shoes and I have one watch, and I don't buy anything unless the thing before is broken. I mean, my iPhone now, the battery's gone in half a day.
Yeah.
So you know
You might have to buy another
I'm going
one.
to have to buy another one, and that's fine. That's
That's worrying.
because something has gone wrong, and I shall replace it. But I don't buy new things if something has. I'm from Yorkshire. Yorkshire people do not.
Hopeless. Yeah.
My great-great-grandfather was a very wealthy man. Once stood outside the window in Harrods, and with his trousers up to here, Methodist Yorkshire. I could buy everything in that window, but I'm not going to. That's just basically my whole life is like that. Well, I'm buying anything if I don't have to.
No.
So I don't have to. So I'm not replacing that. But Lisa's yes, that.
Then
Whatever that one is has to go, and that's why we are, because that is, you just think that as a second, how much is that? 100
it's 120.
I mean, come on.
But we would have to pay 115,000 to change from this Range Rover into that Range Rover, somewhere around there. And you just think, hang on a minute.
I mean, I know they are very, very nice cars.
But they're all Bentley-esque.
£120,000.
But there's no way we're putting that on it and jump leads for tractors and just not going to do it.
Because I remember my dad coming back from town once, 1970 I think it was, and he said, I've seen the best car ever. And he'd seen the then new first Range Rover. Yeah. And I remember him looking it up, and it was £2,200. Yeah. Oh, it's out of my league.
Yes.
But
I tried my father desperately to buy a Range Rover because we had this place in Wales and we had to go down this track, and it was like a bloody rally track, and I said, let's get a Range Rover, and we had a Citroen Diane 6.
Yeah, it's a bit of a leap.
Yeah, it was a bit of a leap, and it was way too much. I couldn't see the point of it.
No, exactly.
And then he looked at 14 to the gallon as it sort of was. I'm not doing that.
No, well, that's exactly the same. My dad wouldn't have one, but I always sort of wanted one, and when the opportunity presented itself, I thought, perfect.
Yeah. Wow.
And now I can't get out of it.
No. Well,
we both lucked out in having this one,
the green,
because it was the sort of its peak Range Rover.
It is peak, yeah.
And so everything afterwards is lovely but expensive, and everything before was
a bit average. Actually.
Bit average.
Yeah, I used to have. I've had 3 classic Range Rovers. We used to buy ex-police ones. We called them Plod 1 and Plod 2, and then we had the kids. So I got a posh one and a civilian one. I've still got it and went down to Overfinch, but that's another story.
What, for a Chevrolet?
I did everything but that. I went to 5.2 litre Rover V8 built at Mallory Park, and it revved to like silly revs. Stupid. I was a
9 miles to the gallon.
Yeah. Anyway, but they were compromised. They were quite small, and this one, when this came along, I thought, oh my goodness.
Yes. Well, it came after the London taxi cab one, which was the disastrous.
Don't talk about that.
No, awful. But the first one was clever and groundbreaking and all of those things. The second one was awful, and then this came along, and we both got in at exactly. And now look, can't get out.
And we've seen the future, and we're still on it.
And Mrs. Queen was the same.
She never was seen driving the 405. She was only ever seen driving one of these.
Yeah.
She would passenger in the next generation.
Yeah.
But not this one. This is the one she.
Yeah, Mrs. Queen knew.
Yeah.
Well, you know.
So there we are.
If you know, you know.
No. Yeah. So I think we should wrap that up. Otherwise, we'll carry on forever.
We will.
Range Rovers.
Waxing lyrical about
our Range Rovers.
Our Range Rovers. Now, brilliant they are.
Yeah.
And how we both motoring journalists, both farmers. And both ended up with 17-year-old Range Rovers. It's exactly the same colour.
How did that happen?
I don't know. It just goes to show, doesn't it?
Yeah, there we go. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. A little deep dive into Range Rover-ness and up in the Cotswolds, how we live with these. If you have enjoyed this video, keep watching, keep subscribing. More videos coming along very soon.